YouTube and Netflix also gives you recommendations for what you should watch and what you shouldn't watch. Guess what? My favorite show is The Investigators. I love this book. I also got a copy for my friend. Thanks for making this book bio. I hope we can all read it together.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, from wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to another week of the Sketch Masterclass. My name is Falashawa, and it's a pleasure to be on the call here with you all today. I want you all to drop your name and where you're joining us from in the chat section right now. Thank you very much. Kindly drop your name and where you're joining us from in the chat section. Gloria from Abuja, welcome. Keep dropping your names and where you're joining us from in the chat section, please. Drop your name and where you're joining us from in the chat section. I'll be waiting.
Project. It currently has an online learners network in 49 countries across the world. Data Science Nigeria, through its founder, Bayo Adekombi, published the first AI book for kids. The book uses cartoon-like characters to demystify and simplify the basic concepts of AI and Python programming. The book is currently being distributed through a nationwide Train the Teachers program to ensure that every child has the foundational knowledge required to competitively prepare for the fourth industrial revolution and the future of work. The annual DSN All Expense Paid Bootcamp has become the numero uno of AI learning in Africa. It brings together some of the best global experts who visit Nigeria physically or connect virtually to teach and mentor young African talents. Each AI bootcamp starts with thousands of participants, with only 400 best participants making it to this intensive learning session. The 2021 edition had learners from over 20 countries. Today, DSN has become the biggest talent recruitment pipeline to leading organizations in Nigeria, providing access to top talents who have been trained through DSN's intensive, hands-on, and industry-ready training modules. DSN has also validated its technical capability in the areas of consulting and solution delivery. It has successfully delivered over $6 million worth of professional service for leading global multinationals and development agencies like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, World Bank, Mastercard Foundation, Chevron Nigeria, AI Commons, KPMG, Access Bank, and so many others. DSN remains very strong in artificial intelligence research, with over 13 academic papers published and accepted at peer-reviewed conferences. The inspiring works of DSN have been showcased at all the world's leading AI conferences, from NeurIPS to ICML to ICLR to Deep Learning Endeavor. DSN's work in AI for social good was a case study of excellence at the foremost conference of the Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence held in New York, USA in 2020, where the founder of DSN spoke as a keynote speaker. DSN AI Lab in Lagos is generously supported with research robots from the Computer Science Department of the University College London, complemented with a world-class research workstation donated by NVIDIA. DSN is proud to have won the academic poster at the 21st edition of the ACM Conference on Economics and Computation, EC20, the world's premier conference on the interface of economics and computer science, organized by the Association for Computing Machinery, United States. DSN also won the Best Runner-Up Poster Award at the Deep in Daba in 2019, Africa's foremost AI conference, where the effort of Science Nigeria was also recognized.
Please drop your name and where you're joining us from. Kindly drop your name and where you're joining us from right now. We are about to start the research masterclass for this week. So if today is the first time joining us here, I want you to light up that comment section.
AI for super.
Write emojis.
And many others. DSN was the only African finalist at the X Prize Algorithm for COVID Prediction competition. DSN was also part of the National COVID Intervention Team using biological machine learning algorithms to flatten the curve. DSN runs a startup incubation center dedicated to artificial intelligence with a current cohort of 12 startups at its new center in Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. DSN has transited from the generic theory of AI into practical solution development with a focus on how to apply AI at scale.
Okay, joining from Lauren. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much. Like I said, drop your name and where you're joining from in the chat section. All right. So, those who have been joining us in the last couple of weeks, I want you to share your experiences so far and your expectations for today. All right, thank you. I'll be expecting your responses in the chat section. And if you are a newbie here, I want you to drop your favorite emojis in that chat section right now. I'll be waiting. I'm waiting. Drop your name and where you're joining us from in the chat section and drop your favorite emojis in the chat section. And if you have been here with us so far, I want you to please share your experiences with us and your expectations for today. All right, welcome Engineer Betabasi Daniel, joining from Uyo, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful session today. All right, as you know, this session is going to be splendid as usual. Oh, Abdul from Kano, thank you for joining us today. Momo Itwa, joining from Lagos State, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome, welcome. I'll be expecting Limitless from Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoyed today's session as usual. All right, all right. Ahon Gongu from Kaduna, Nigeria. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Trust Owoyele joining from Johannesburg, South Africa. Wow, welcome. Thank you very much for joining this session today. Justice from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining this session today. Have you been joining the previous session? All right. I want you to light up that chat section with your favorite emojis. I want to see that emojis in that chat section right now. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Olusegun from Africa. Welcome. Welcome. We are glad to have you here today. All right. So I want you to welcome Dr. Sofian as he takes us on another educative session on making research and writing cutting-edge research papers today. Kindly welcome me in the comment section. Dr. Sofian, the floor is yours. Hello, Dr. Sofian, are you there? Dr. Sofian, are you there with us? Please welcome Dr. Sofian with your favorite emojis. Oh, promise, you are still reviewing your articles. That's all right. You can continue reviewing your articles for today. Just listen attentively in the class today. Thank you. We are still waiting for Dr. Sofian. Is explaining some technical glitches right now, but he should be here with us in the next 2-3 minutes.
Thank you so much, Folashua. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for joining today's session. So I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you are enjoying these sessions. And yes, we have received at DSN your work and your submission. So we have got your draft about your research interest, and also your draft about all what you did, especially the methods that you found right there. It's good. It's good as a first, let's say, first try. So a lot of you were doing this kind of things for their first time. So I'm glad that you managed to do it. And yes, so this is the goal of the research masterclass. So the goal is to write a research paper, as we say. So this is the first week, okay, and we are going to start to do to start from the first part of the research paper. So the goal, I will remind you. So the goal was, and still, the writing a research paper at the end of this research masterclass. So this is our goal, and this is what we are going to do. So I will remind you of the agenda that we had and we have. So as we said, we meant to do a 6 weeks research masterclass, and for this session, it meant to be a writing the methodology section alongside with the results and discussion section. But because we have only 1 week and you have 1 week to submit your work, so we decided to divide this task into two, let's say, subtasks, and keep this first week, or for this week, and dedicate it only for the methodology section and how to write the methodology section. So next week we'll see how to write the results and discussion section, and the research masterclass will end not in the 1st July, but in the 8th July. So we added 1 week, so it's good for you, and it's good for you to have time. So we already had 14 days to prepare your submissions, and now we will have a 1 week to write the methodology section. So today's session is going to be a little bit, let's say, practical, because we are going to do practice, and we will start immediately writing the methodology section of the article. But before going deep, I would like to remind you about what we did, because we may have people who are joining for the first time. So as a reminder, so within the first week, we say that academic literacy is being proficient in reading and writing academic subjects, okay, and also being able to write in formal English. And we say that a research paper is generally divided into 6 parts, okay. So The first part is the abstract, the second part, the introduction with the related works, the methodology, the results, and the conclusion. So within the second week, we came up with our research topic, and we end up with defining our topic and our transforming our topic into a research question. And I gave you the example that we will follow also this session. It was the how to use the natural language processing techniques to summarize news articles in Arabic. So that was the research question of the research of this research masterclass session research topic. So you've already submitted your research topic and also your research question, so it's good. But the most important thing is what we are going to start right now. So things are now getting more serious. So please try to follow and try to note every question. So I will answer every question by the end of this session, because we are in a crucial step. Okay, so we said also, so just to remind you that an article is the academic representation of a research work, and we distinguished between a journal paper and a conference paper. So we say that the conference paper is shorter, is in general 6 pages. However, the journal paper may go longer. Okay, so it's longer than a conference paper, and it has more than one contribution. So we also it introduced the difference between a research paper and a survey paper. So most of you, while reviewing your submission, I noticed that approximately 70% of you are willing to write a survey paper, because it's the easiest thing that let's say a beginner researcher can do. And for the research paper, so you have to have already an idea about what you are working on, and you should already came up with a method or experimental protocol about a field of research. Okay, so we also presented some databases where you can find articles. So there are 3 major ones: the Scopus, the Web of Science, and the iTrack AAA. So these are the databases where you can find articles, and of course Google Scholar. So last week, or last session, because we didn't do a research masterclass last session, so or last week. So last session we introduced how to start writing an academic paper, and we presented some tips and tricks and how to prepare a good, let's say, how to get prepared to write an academic paper. We also highlighted the difference, or the difference between let's say Microsoft Word and LaTeX, and we said that to start a paper we will deprecate the parts of that paper, and we will start part by part by writing each section in a Word file. Okay, and after that we will gather all these parts, and we will try to write the whole paper using LaTeX, because it's the most used one, and it gives a better format. So it's easy to write an academic paper in LaTeX, because they have already, for example, for each journal or for each conference, so they have already a template. So it's easy to write using LaTeX, although it's in codes, but it's not easy. So it's difficult for the first time, but after that you will be getting used to it, and it's going to be easy for you. And it's yes, you're gonna gain some techniques in writing the research paper, and also for example, for people who are willing to write a thesis, so LaTeX is the best one, so just use it instead of Microsoft Word. Also, we highlighted the paraphrasing techniques that I personally use, and I showed you the deepl.com website, and I said that you can use this website. For example, you can take a paragraph in English and translate it into another language, for example, French, and reverse the translation from French to English. So we are going to have a different text, and deepl.com provide a tool or a technique that help you to change every word by a list of synonyms. So we're going to use this paraphrasing tool. It's powerful, and it's a good technique. So let's now talk about today's agenda. So what we are going to do today is we're going to, or are we going to, I'm going to present how to write the methodology section for both for survey papers and also for research papers. Okay, so I want everyone to be satisfied. Okay, so I'm going to start by the survey paper, because it's easy, and after that we'll go and see how to start writing the research paper. So yes, as I said, this session is a practical session. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can start immediately writing the methodology section. So I will go to, so here I have my folder. I called my research papers. Okay, so I divided this research paper into folders. So I have here the abstract, introduction, related works, methodology, results, and discussion, and conclusion. So the most or the more most intuitive way to start writing a paper is to start by the methodology, because it's the most easiest way, and because you already have some materials, and you already have a lot of things, especially with your submissions. So, for example, for my the topic that I presented, which is NLP and Arabic news and summarization. So I already have, or I already downloaded some articles, okay, about this. So I have here a list of articles, and I did the same thing as you. So I came up with a let's say a Word file. Okay, so for each paper I extracted the let's, for example, here I extracted here the title, and also I have here the abstracts, the same technique that I showed you in the second week. So I extract some informations from the abstract, some informations from the conclusion, and of course the aim of each paper. So I have here a list of papers, okay, a list of summarization of each paper. So as you can see, I have approximately 15 papers here, okay, so I have them all. So what I will do with that, we will keep that file, and I will show you how to start writing the methodology section. So okay, so I will go back to the methodology. So as I said, I will write the methodology for both the research paper and also a survey paper. So to have because we don't have too much time, I already prepared something for you, but I will go and explain everything. So To start the methodology section, we'll start. This is for the survey, of course. I'm talking about the survey paper now. To start in methodology section, all we need to do. So let's remind the reader about the goal of the paper. So the goal of this paper is to conduct a comprehensive review, because we are doing a survey. So it should be a comprehensive review, okay, of text summarization. So for me, it's text summarization techniques. So I have a lot of papers, as I showed you, and I will go for these techniques and extract them and put them together in an organized manner, okay? So of text summarization techniques for Arabic news. So you can take this let's say this phrase, okay, and do the same thing. You will change only this. So I'm working on text summarization techniques. For example, if you are working with computer vision, you can put review of computer vision techniques for example, let's say medical image analysis, or I don't know. It depends on your topic and your domain, okay? So during this survey, okay, we did not get deep into equations and techniques used in text summarization. So for me, I won't get deeper in the equations and the architectures used, but I'm going to do a general, because we have only now 7 weeks. So I will do a general survey and a general review. So mostly this one, it's going to be presented in a conference instead of a journal, because it's not going to be accepted in journal, because as I said, a journal, to submit to a journal, you need to have as I said, a contribution or a major contribution, 2 or 3 contributions, okay? And also the research paper is going to be longer than this, okay? So this is only a 6 pages research paper, which is a survey now, okay? So I will continue. Instead, we try to cover many approaches used for text summarization. So you can use the same thing, okay? And I will show you how to get let's say, to try to do a proper text without plagiarism. So we will do the same thing using GPL, okay? But I will continue this one. So instead, we try to cover many approaches used for text summarization and showing their techniques, domains, data sets, and evaluation criteria. So for this one, it's mostly you are using the same thing. So you're going to do the survey and survey the techniques, the domains. I mean the application domains. So where you can apply this technique. Let's say, for example, text summarization, where we can apply it. The data sets. So for example, for text summarization, we may need a lot of data sets, articles, data sets of articles. Okay, so we can find a lot of data sets available. So I'm going to bring them and describe each one, okay? Evaluation criteria. So every technique and every domain, you should have an evaluation criteria. So you have a data set and you apply a technique. For example, I will apply text summarization. So how to evaluate this system? So I should have an evaluation criteria, okay? For example, then the most known one, for example, for the identification tasks in general. So we have the precision and we have the recall. So these are the let's say the metrics that we can find. For example, in speaker verification, we have the equal error rate, okay, and we have the F1 score, and so we have a lot of evaluation criteria. So I will continue, and they suggested future work if applicable. So we suggest, of course, the future works if applicable, okay? Along with challenge and summarization steps needed. So as we know, every let's say every technique, especially in the computer science, has a pre-processing step. So for example, for summarization, we have to do a pre-processing, which is called in this context pre-summarization. Okay, so this is needed, of course, and we are going to do and to look for the pre-summarization techniques and of course list them. Okay, so this is a template that is let's say a template for everyone, for every technique that you, or every field that you are intending to do a research paper about. So one can see the survey as a significant horizontal covering of the topic, okay, because we are not going deep to each technique, okay, so it's an horizontal covering of the topic, instead the vertical covering of its technique in depth, others. So we try to cover most of the recent papers that focus on this keyword. So we have to use the past tense here because we are talking about something that we already did. Okay, so we have to use the past tense. So of course, for example, news while doing research. So I have these keywords: news, sentiments, or opinion, or summarization. Okay, so during the last few years, so when you are doing survey, so you need to do a survey about your survey should be new, and to have a new survey you need to read papers, a maximum 3 years paper. So we are now in 2022, so a maximum we will start from, let's say, 2018. So your oldest paper should be 2018. I'm talking about papers that presents a method, okay, a method, a state of the art method. Okay, I'm talking about this. I'm not talking about, for example, fundamentals of something. So for example, papers that are presenting or that are providing the fundamentals of some methods, so you can use all these papers, no problem with that. Okay, so in few cases, some papers that cover only two of these three keywords were also used in this survey. So here just I highlighted how I choose the papers that I used in this survey. Okay, when select topic could be expanded easily to cover the third keyword. Okay, just so the next thing to do is you have to use a figure. Okay, so each domain, for example, for natural language processing and especially the summarization techniques, so they have a workflow, okay, or how you can build this system, an end-to-end architecture. Okay, so for this architecture, so we have three steps. The first step is pre-summarization, the second step is summarization techniques, and the third one is evaluating summarization. Okay, so we have the pre-processing, the techniques are the models, and the evaluation, of course. So for each one, for me, while browsing the papers, I found these techniques. For example, for pre-summarization, I found three techniques. Okay, for summarization, I found these techniques. These are the let's say the new techniques used this 3 or 4 years. Okay, and also the same thing for the evaluation. So what I need to do is I need to, instead of using only text, I need to draw a figure. Okay, so to draw figures, I will give you the most powerful tool that I'm always using is called Glyphic. Okay, so this Glyphic diagrams. Okay, so this one is a Google Chrome extension, so you can download it. It's for free, and it has a, let's say, some nice styles. Okay, for example, I already draw this. I will show you how to do it. So I'm just transforming. I will just split the, okay, so you can see. Okay, so what I did here is I transformed this architecture into a figure. Okay, so I will do the same thing. So this is to draw this, for example, I used this where is it, I think that yes, this one. So I used this one. Okay, and I combined it with this one. Okay, so you can drop and drag and yes, get your proper size, no problem with that. Okay, so I'm going just to copy paste this, so Control C, Control V, and yes, uh, I can do this. So I have, for example, here summarization techniques, and here I have evaluation, for example, evaluating summarization. Okay, so I will do this thing. Okay, and I will list this techniques here. Okay, so I will list all the techniques here, and after that I can save this as a PNG or JPG, or I can save the project. So if I want to, after that, if I want to modify it, okay. So please use this Glyphic. So this Glyphic is a good tool, and I all my papers and my PhD thesis are the figures there are drawn using this tool. So this is a good tool, okay. So after that, and of course we will come up with the figure and put it here instead of this one. Okay, and we can of course reference the figure here. Yes, after that, so I will this is just a comment, so we'll start rolling through the article. So we need to talk about the article. So we started here from let's say a general concept. Okay, so we need to go from the beginning. So of course we will start with the pre-summarization. So what I did here, just this is also a template. So navigating through all daily Arabic news articles to review crucial issues is very challenging. Okay, so here I use a reference from a paper. So for this phrase, I extracted from a paper, and here I put the reference. Okay, so if you take something from a paper, so you have to reference. Okay, so for each reference, I just for me, I'm now writing in Microsoft Word. So what I do is for each reference, I will just I will just write the title here, okay? Because we will rewrite the whole thing using LaTeX, okay? So just I'm reminding myself about the references that I use, okay? So lately, new challenges appear such as integration of social media data into document summarization. So this is also a reference. So I've got it from a research paper of the list of research papers that I have. Such as grouping synonyms feature when summarizing products, etc., etc. Okay. Also for this, so this is just a, let's say I extracted this from the introduction of each paper. So this is just from the summarization that I did. Okay. So Arabic articles news summarization also presents new challenges, etc., etc., such as this is that, and examples of that. Okay, after that we need to go not very deep, but just to list the techniques. So we have already a diagram. Okay, so we have 3 steps: the pre-summarization, the summarization, and also the evaluating techniques. So we'll start, of course, with the pre-summarization. So in this section, okay, we will cover the steps to be done before the text summarization process, because it's a pre-processing. So most of you are going to use a pre-processing technique. So you can use this model in this section. We will cover the steps, etc., etc. Okay, so we'll talk about feature extraction. Of course, a crucial phase in text summarization is feature extraction, and we will come up with the feature extraction techniques used in, of course, in pre-summarization, and we can list them here. Okay. After that, we'll do the same thing for summarization techniques. Okay, and also, of course, here in this section, for example, we will present, etc., etc. Okay, and the same thing for evaluating summarization. So this is going to be the whole methodology, but you need to, for example, you need to write this methodology. Let's say it should take let's say the 25% of your research paper. okay? When I say a research paper, so I'm talking about the paper. So although it's survey paper, we can call it research paper. Just I wanted to differentiate the survey from a regular research paper. I think that you know what I mean, okay? So, okay, after that, yes, what you are going to do is to keep this one, okay? Just keep it, and to after that you can write the results in discussion. So this is for the methodology of for the let's say for the survey, okay? So I'm going to open the regular research paper. So here it's assumed that you already have a methodology, so you are not going to present or to describe the other papers, but all you need to do is to let's say is to present your whole paper or your contribution, okay? So what you need to do, and what is the difference between, so because you follow the survey paper, I will give you just how to the difference between what I'm going now to write and this one, okay? So for this one, we say that the goal of this paper is to conduct a comprehensive review, etc., etc. What you are going to do here is to start with a figure, okay? So you need to draw a figure using Glyphi that I showed you in the last moment, okay? Draw a figure and here write a brief description of your contribution, okay? For example, figure 1 shows the, for example, shows the proposed method, okay? Dot, and after that you can go much more deeper. So for example, let's say we proposed a framework, for example, for, I don't know, for computer vision that can etc, etc. Just describe your method, okay? After that you need to go approximately do the same thing but differently, okay? I will show you. For example, if you use for text summarization, for example, you need, for example, you need, if you use, for example, in the pre-summarization technique, if you have the contribution, for example, here, you should have a contribution somewhere, okay? For example, if you have the contribution in the summarization technique and you come up with a summarization, okay, technique, so you should firstly use a pre-summarization technique. For example, if you use this one, pre-processing and feature extraction, okay, so you can describe it, do the same here. But for your summarization technique that you propose it, so you have to describe it here in details, okay? You have to describe it in details, and of course, give a hint about how you are evaluating your system. So this is the difference between the survey, because in the survey you don't have let's say a real contribution, but with your research paper you have a contribution, so you have to highlight your contributions. So this is the difference between these two ones, okay? So the last thing that I'm going to show you is, for example, you are now having this one, okay? So you will, of course, start writing your methodology. For example, you will use this, let's say this phrase, okay? The goal of this research paper. So what I'm going to do, of course, is I will go to DeepL, okay? deepl.com, and I will copy paste this phrase, okay? For example, here, okay, so it's in English. I translate it into French. I will reverse the translation, and as you can see, so this is a new one. So the purpose of this paper is to conduct a comprehensive review of text summarization techniques for Arabic. So I can take this one, or maybe I can change, for example, is to perform instead of conduct a comprehensive, for example, let's say a detailed, for example, review. I don't know, we can say survey instead of review of text summarization techniques, for example. We can reverse the for example, starts from For Arabic, no, this one is not good. So we'll keep this one. Okay, so I'll just do a copy paste to show you the difference now. Okay, so this is the first one. And okay, so now you can see the difference. It's a new one. Okay, so the first one, the purpose of this paper. We can use, for example, the purpose of this work instead of this paper. Okay, so it's a brand new phrase. So try to do the same thing with all your, for example, you will get a lot of information from a lot of articles. Try to do the same thing, and of course, add your touch. Okay, try to rephrase by yourself, and of course, deepl.com is going to help you with that. So this is your let's say your homework this week. Okay, so you have the whole idea. So if you have any questions, please ask them, but you have now the whole idea. So try to write a methodology section. So let's say, for example, while using Microsoft Word, let's do it in I'd say, so with this size. Let's do it, for example, use Times New Roman, and here 12 as font size. Try to do it in 5 or 6 pages, okay? Because I'm using here in here line of spacing of 1.5, okay? So if you use the same configuration, please try to do 6 pages, okay? Because 6 pages in Word is different than LaTeX, because LaTeX is using another format. So because 6 pages, double colon 6 pages, okay? So try to use this thing. Try to keep your references, keep tracking of your references, because you're going to need them. Do the same thing, the number, and of course the title of the reference. And before next Thursday, I think that we already shared with you the Google form, so you can submit your submission. And the most earlier you do this thing, I will of course review it with you and give you my feedback. Okay, so I will give for every one of you, I will give you my feedback. And yes, after, I think that after the 8th of July, every one of you will come with a paper, of course, in a collaboration with DSN. So I think that that's all from me. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this session, and I'm looking forward to hearing from everyone from you. Thank you so much. So follow Shuar, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sufyan. All right, someone asked that you should give an example of a state-of-art method that they can use.
So it depends. So when I say the state-of-the-art method, so these are the latest methods in your field. So it depends on your reading. So when you read, for let's say 10 papers, so as I showed you, I come up with approximately 15 papers. Okay, so I read each paper and I extracted the state. This paper were the latest paper, so I extracted the latest method. So when I say the state-of-the-art method, it's the latest method. Okay, so try to grab these methods, okay, and talk about them in the methodology section.
Someone asked that, is the discussion section of the paper the same as the conclusion?
No, it's not the same. We'll see the discussion session next week, because next week we are going to write the results in discussion. Okay, we can have discussions in the conclusion, but it's good to have them in details in the results and discussion session.
Okay, I can't see any more questions here, but someone just asked that, can their papers be published under DSN after the end of the session?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Yeah, someone was asking if their papers can get published if it's very outstanding or that DSN.
So this is the goal. The goal is to for every one of you should publish a paper in a collaboration with DSN. So what we are going to do is we are helping you to write the research paper, review it for you, and of course suggest let's take a conference, and maybe if you have you come up with a let's say a detailed paper with 2 or 3 contributions, maybe we can suggest also the journal articles. Is there any other questions?
Just one last question before we round up the Q&A section. So for a survey paper, will there be a section for results and discussions?
Yes, of course. We'll have sections of the results and discussions, and we'll see next week how to let's say extract results from research papers and put them into this. We will have 2 methods, so we'll discuss them within next week. Yes, we'll have 2 methods for this.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sofian, for this session. We really appreciate you. I want you all guys to please drop your favorite emoji to appreciate Dr. Sofian. So my colleagues will be dropping links to various research Telegram groups for DSN. I want you to please join it and submit your assignments for this week. Thank you very much, everybody. And I want you to please join the use the links that are being dropped right now and join the appropriate Telegram groups. Thank you very much, everyone. So as we are sending you the links, please join if you haven't joined. Your assignments, please submit them. The attendance link too has been sent. Kindly fill in your attendance for this week. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. We'll soon be closing up. Then our AI book too. You can also purchase the AI book. I will send the link right now. Kindly check it out. Thank you. So if you are interested in our book, please click that link and purchase it. If you have any more questions for today, our Telegram group is open. Our research Telegram group is open. You can direct your questions there. You can also send a mail to Dr. Sofian. So thank you very much. And
You want the information is to know.
From top organizations, data scientists on demand, AI tutors on demand for primary and secondary schools, AI knowledge box of 20,000 learning videos, free AI for beginners free ebook, and its current effort to set up AI libraries at all the top Nigerian universities. As PSN marks its 5th anniversary, it is making some big, bold transition under its 5 perfect transition mandates to strategize for the future. The organization is recalibrating its vision and mission with focus on enabling 1 million AI talent in Africa and building AI solutions that will enhance the quality of lives and well-being of people living